I'm going to turn my attention to the main course inspired by the wonderful Yotam Ottolenghi, whose recipes work fabulously well. And basically, if you don't have Mynhardt in your kitchen, you may as well turn to his books. Sticking with all things simple, I'm serving a Middle Eastern-inspired chicken dish. And alongside it, chickpea and cranberry rice. So the ingredients you'll need are chicken pieces, fennel bulbs, onions, naartjies and oranges, fennel seeds, garlic, chili and fresh thyme, white wine, olive oil, brown sugar, green olives and fresh parsley. And for the rice dish, basmati rice and chicken or vegetable stock, onion and garlic and butter and oil for frying, cumin seeds, salt and pepper, a can of chickpeas, some cranberries and loads of fresh coriander. I'm going to start by making the rice dish, which is full of beautiful, beautiful flavors and lots of crunch. I'm going to use some oil. Traditionally in the Middle East, basmati rice is fried first before you start the cooking process. Now I've got 2 cups of rice here. So you're not trying to fry it to brown it. I'm just going to use a little bit of salt. You don't need a lot, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook the rice in stock, chicken stock or vegetable stock, just to add another depth of flavor. You do want your side dish to be as fabulous as your main course. So I'm just going to grab the stock. But now I must confess, I never follow the back of a packet for rice because I don't think it works. You kind of need about sort of 3 centimeters above your basmati rice, and that should do it. The next thing you've got to remember is bring it to the boil without a lid, pop the lid on, turn it down to the lowest, and then cook it till all the sort of liquid has disappeared. That's pretty much it. So, on to the next affair. Now, we're going to make some chicken, and I think one of the great arts to entertaining is to keep things simple. Essentially, what you want to do is keep yourself at the party, not in the kitchen. If you've got a little bit of time, marinating this dish is not a bad idea, but it's not entirely necessary. Some chicken pieces, I've got thighs and legs. If you wanted to do this with chicken breast, you know, you could slightly overcook it, and an overcooked piece of chicken at a dinner party is a bit of a failure. So my suggestion is stick with all things brown in this case. I'm going to toss in a few sprigs of fresh thyme, some fennel seeds. So it's got quite a lot of interesting flavors, this chicken. Some garlic, definitely. These are quite small garlic cloves, so I'm going to do 4, but I mean, usually sort of 2 fat ones will do. Toss that into there. Good pinch of salt. Some pepper from the smallest pepper pot known to man. I'm going to add some dried chili flakes. It's not strictly necessary, but I love a little bit of chili in just about everything. So then a little bit of sugar. I'm going to add citrus shortly, and a little bit of sugar with citrus is usually not a bad idea, just to bring out all good things. I'm also going to add some wine and toss a bit of that in. Not too much, but it is going to make a lovely gravy. And then, as I was saying, a little bit of citrus, so I've got some orange. These are actually quite big oranges, so I might just use 1. The other thing you need to consider when you're baking chicken and not roasting a whole chicken is you do want to roast it in a single layer, otherwise you won't get that beautiful brown things. You'll sort of get, well, pale ale chicken, and that's never very good. I've got some naartjies here, really just to keep it local and because it's the season. But if you don't have any naartjies, just chop up some oranges. It's just that they look a lot sexier, really. 2 or 3, no huge rules. They are very, very pretty and complete, and they make your mouth water. Toss that in. I've got some baby fennel. If you can't find baby fennel, then quite honestly, you could just use the big mama fennel. Just careful not to overdo the fennel flavors. Now, what you need to do is really just to mix everything together. The more, the merrier. Sort of gunge it and make it a happy, happy affair. I've got the most divine, lovely silver tray that I found in Mynhardt's cupboard. God bless him. And so it's big enough to make sure that we have sort of single layers of chicken. Now, Yotam Ottolenghi, he does sort of arak and fennel, but I'm not really mad about arak. Arak is sort of like a sort of a Pernod. It's a licorice liqueur, very potent. Although, you know, when you cook it, it sort of becomes innocuous. Make sure you've got your skin side up, because you want that to brown and look lovely. Then just to help it along, I reckon a little drizzle or 4 of olive oil, good pinch of salt, roast it in a 200-degree oven, because you really want sort of some high heat to get everything going and brown that chicken beautifully. It'll probably take about sort of 45 minutes or so, and then we just get on with the rice. Right, with a bit of luck, this is all ready. Oof. Yeah, just give it a stir. Now, some people say you should not pop this rice into a colander and then steam it, sort of fluff up, and you absolutely can. But I think if you've got a really thick bottom pot like one of these, you can actually just turn it off, put the lid on and let it sort of steam as is. Now, a labour of love is a very slowly fried onion, and there's a fine line between sort of burnt, sort of caramelly, and they go beautifully crispy. So this is very much a part of this dish. Now, into that, I'm going to add some cumin seeds, but you could certainly add some ground cumin. I am going to add some ground coriander. So sort of beautiful warm flavours, and that's really going to go terribly well with the orange and the olives and things that are going to be in the chicken. I've got some cranberries, a little bit of red sparkle in life. Never a bad thing. I'm just going to give it a good stir, because what you need to do now is just sort of release the flavour of the spices into the onions. You don't want to cook the onions for too much more, but you just want to get them all introduced to one another. Obviously some salt, and again, a little pepper from our miniature pepper pot. I'm beginning to love it. So once that all starts to sort of smell delicious and sizzle away, I'm going to add some canned chickpeas, just well drained. If you want to, you could add some lentils as well, either or. Again, you just want to coat these in all the lovely spices just to get the flavours going. Now, while that's happening, it's not going to take terribly long, I'm just going to chop up some coriander. And then I think I just need to go slightly finer, so I'm just going to get a bigger knife. Just give it a good chop. That'll do. Lovely. Right, now, this is perfect. Smelling gorgeous. The rice should be light and fluffy and all the right things, which it is. So this is just perfect, really. Do like when a plan comes together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spoon, it's a bit heavy for me, spoon the rice in. So you see it's just beautifully cooked, lovely loose grains. You don't want it to be stodgy. It's a good trick to remember for all of those of you out there who can't cook rice, and I know a number of you. And just grab another spoon and then sort of toss it together like you would a salad. And then just while we're doing that, we're going to toss the coriander in. Toss it well to sort of connect all the flavours, and this is equally good hot or at room temperature. It really sort of doesn't matter. Now, the chicken has been cooking for about 45 minutes. What we do want to add is some green olives. Now, you don't put the olives in at the beginning because otherwise everything begins to taste sort of, well, just a little bit olivey and sort of too much brine. So the idea is, oh, it looks magnificent, that you just toss the olives in sort of 5 or 10 minutes before the end of cooking time, just so they can heat through, but not sort of flavour the whole dish. And then let me just use this, I think. Just introduce everything to one another so it can mix up. And then just pop it back in the oven, just really to heat the olives through. And then once that's done, you just serve it scattered with parsley. Beautiful rice dish. Easy as that. Not only does this chicken dish look good, but it's full of flavour and dead easy to make. And of course, the rice, with its riot of colours and textures, accompanies the chicken perfectly. Let the feast begin.